All right, let's jump right in, shall we? Today we're diving deep into the world of carrier pigeons. You know, those birds we see in parks often dismissed as rats with wings.
Indeed. But there's a lot more to these birds than meets the eye. They have this incredible history and capabilities honed over millennia, really.
Okay, so let's unpack that. I know they were used to carry messages, but what makes them so special? Why pigeons specifically?
Right, why not just any bird? Well, it all comes down to their physiology and behavior. Carrier pigeons, or homing pigeons as they're also known, are a specific breed, actually,
Okay.
developed, specifically for their exceptional navigational skills
Hmm.
and their endurance. They're not just messengers, they're avian athletes, really.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Avian athletes. I like that. So where do we start with this? I feel like a good story is always a good place to begin a deep dive like this.
Yeah, I think you're right. Why don't we let's transport ourselves back to World War One. Imagine the scene, October 4th, 1918. An American battalion, known as the Lost Battalion, is trapped behind enemy lines. They're facing heavy fire. It's a desperate situation.
And communication is crucial in a situation like that. I bet pigeons came in handy then.
Yeah, they were a lifeline. Several attempts to send messages, they failed, leaving them with one last hope, a carrier pigeon. Her name was Cher Ami.
Cher Ami, dear friend, in French.
Mm.
I love that. The name already hints at the bond between humans and these birds, right?
It does, doesn't it? So Cher Ami is released, carrying a message, a vital message, really. It could save the entire battalion. Imagine, the hope, the pressure riding on this single bird's wings.
It must have been an incredible journey flying through a war zone like that.
Oh, absolutely. It was harrowing. Cher Ami was shot through the breast, the leg, blinded in one eye, but she kept flying.
Wow.
It's a testament to their strength, their determination. These are traits carefully selected, over generations.
She made it back then.
She did, yeah. She delivered the message, and it ultimately led to the battalion's rescue. Think about this. It was a 40-kilometer journey, and it took her just 25 minutes.
That's incredible.
Cher Ami became a symbol of hope, courage. She was awarded medals for her service.
What a story. It really highlights the vital role these birds played, especially in times of war.
Oh, absolutely. And, Cher Ami's story is extraordinary, but it's just one example of the countless messages delivered by these feathered heroes. Their contribution during World War I and II, it really saved countless lives. They were often the only way to get crucial information, through enemy lines.
So, beyond these individual stories, how widespread was their use? I mean, were they really that crucial?
Oh, absolutely. Before the telegraph, carrier pigeons were a primary means of long-distance communication. We're talking way back to 3000 BC.
Wow.
Ancient Egyptians used them, and we even see evidence in their hieroglyphics. And get this, even after the advent of radio, pigeons still had this crucial role because they offered discreet, uninterceptable communication, invaluable in wartime.
That is fascinating. It really is. How these seemingly ordinary birds have been so intertwined with human history for so long.
They were a vital part of our communication networks. And even today, in a world of instant connectivity, they still have niche applications. Can you believe that?
Really?
Oh, yeah. Imagine this. Photographers in remote areas, where there's limited internet access, they use pigeons to transport memory cards with photos and data.
That's amazing, like a low-tech avian version of cloud storage.
And speaking of long distances, what is the farthest a pigeon has ever flown? I mean, these are small creatures, not migratory birds.
Right. Well, the longest recorded flight by homing pigeon was a staggering 3,500 kilometers.
From Shanghai to Hami City in China. And to put that in perspective, that's farther than many commercial airplane routes, and it's not just distance, they're incredibly fast. The fastest recorded speed of a racing pigeon is 162 kilometers per hour.
Faster than cars on a highway.
Exactly. So we've got speed, endurance, and this uncanny ability to find their way back home.
What makes them such incredible navigators? Is it just instinct? Or is there something more to it?
It's mind-boggling, really. How do they do it? I mean, if you dropped me in the middle of nowhere, I'd be utterly lost.
Right. That's the million-dollar question. And it's puzzled scientists for decades. It's not just one thing. It's a combination of remarkable adaptations. It's like a symphony of senses all working together.
Okay, well, let's break it down. What are some of the leading theories about how they do it?
Well, one of the most prominent theories is olfactory navigation. It's the idea that pigeons use their sense of smell to create a sort of a scent map of their journey. So they're not just remembering the smell of home, but the smells along the way. Like, how does that work?
Exactly. Imagine a pigeon flying over a field of lavender, then a pine forest, then a bustling city. It's like they're taking mental snapshots of the different scents they encounter and building, this complex olfactory landscape in their minds.
Wow. That's incredible. But what happens if the wind changes or there are sudden shifts in the environment? Wouldn't that throw off their scent map?
You're exactly right. It's a great question. And it seems like scent is just one part of the equation. Pigeons also rely on visual cues. They've been shown to follow familiar routes and use landmarks, much like, we might use a highway or a recognizable building to navigate.
So they're using their eyes and their noses like a like a multisensory GPS.
Yeah.
But what about when they're flying over unfamiliar territory, with no landmarks to guide them? What then?
Well, that's where things get even more interesting. Experiments have shown that pigeons also use the sun as a compass. And this requires an internal biological clock to compensate for the sun's movement throughout the day.
Wait, so they're like these tiny feathered astronomers calculating the sun's position.
In a way, yeah, but here's where it gets even more complex. When their internal clock is disrupted, they get disoriented. On sunny days, but not on cloudy days.
Now that's just weird. If they can't use the sun on a cloudy day, how do they find their way?
Right. Well, this suggests that they have another backup navigation system for when the sun isn't visible. And that's where the Earth's magnetic field comes into play. Studies have shown that pigeons have this remarkable ability to sense magnetic fields, essentially acting as living compasses.
Whoa, they're tapping into invisible forces, like some kind of avian superpower. So are we saying pigeons are using smell, sight, the sun, and magnetic fields to navigate?
It seems that way, but the question is how they integrate all this information, how they prioritize one sense over another in different situations. That remains a mystery. It really is. It's fascinating, isn't it?
So with all these different theories, I mean, are we any closer to understanding how they do it? Or is this going to remain one of nature's great unsolved puzzles?
Well, I think we've made some significant strides in understanding it, but the exact mechanisms, they're still being unraveled. And what's really fascinating is that, some scientists are now exploring whether quantum mechanics might hold the key to unlocking this mystery.
Quantum mechanics. Now that's getting pretty deep, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't that the realm of subatomic particles and mind-bending physics? What does that have to do with pigeons?
It might sound a little far-fetched, but quantum mechanics is increasingly being used to explain, biological phenomena that were previously thought to be, well, impossible.
Whoa.
Like, for example, how birds sense magnetic fields or how photosynthesis works with such incredible efficiency.
So you're saying there might be something going on at the subatomic level in the very fabric of these birds that allows them to tap into these seemingly invisible forces.
Exactly. Imagine this. Tiny, tiny particles within a pigeon's cells. And they might be interacting with the Earth's magnetic field in ways that we don't yet fully understand, providing them with the directional information.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. Quantum pigeons. So if quantum mechanics is the key here, I mean, what does that mean for our understanding of pigeon navigation? What could we learn?
I mean, it could revolutionize everything we thought we knew, really. If we can pinpoint the quantum processes at play, it could open up, new avenues of research, not just in animal navigation, but in fields like bioengineering and even quantum computing.
Wow.
Imagine harnessing the power of quantum mechanics to create new navigation technologies, inspired by pigeons.
It's like something out of a science fiction movie, really.
Mm-hmm.
Tiny particles, invisible forces, pigeons as quantum navigators.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder what other secrets are out there, hidden in plain sight, just waiting to be discovered.
That's the beauty of it all, isn't it? We live in this world of wonder, and sometimes those wonders are right under our noses, in the flapping wings of a seemingly ordinary bird.
Speaking of which, let's take a moment to appreciate what we've learned about these amazing creatures. We started with Cher Ami, a war hero
Yeah.
who risked everything to deliver a vital message. And that story alone, I mean, it speaks volumes about the courage and the resilience that's bred into these birds.
It really does. And we've seen how those characteristics, combined with their their incredible navigational abilities. I mean, it made them essential for communication throughout history, from ancient Egypt to the world wars. They were the original messengers, carrying information across vast distances.
And it's amazing, how they've been woven into the tapestry of human history. I mean, from ancient hieroglyphics to modern day photography. And then there's the science behind it all. We talked about scent maps and visual landmarks, solar navigation, and even the Earth's magnetic fields.
It's remarkable. Think about it. These birds are essentially integrating multiple navigation systems and seamlessly switching between them depending on the situation. I mean, it's like having a GPS, a compass, and a map all in one tiny brain.
And then we went down this rabbit hole of quantum mechanics, the possibility that these birds are tapping into forces that we're only just beginning to understand. I mean, it's mind-blowing to think that pigeons might hold the key to unlocking new technologies and revolutionizing fields like bioengineering.
It really does make you think. It highlights the power of nature and the potential for biomimicry. I mean, drawing inspiration from the natural world to solve human problems. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll have quantum compasses, inspired by the humble pigeon.
It really does make you wonder what other secrets are out there, just waiting to be discovered. I know the next time I see a pigeon in the park, I'll definitely look at it with a newfound sense of awe and wonder.
And I think that's the biggest takeaway here. We often overlook the extraordinary in the ordinary. Pigeons, I think they're a perfect example of that. They're not just, pests. They're remarkable creatures
Mm.
with incredible abilities, a testament to the power of evolution and the endless wonders of the natural world.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into the fascinating world of carrier pigeons. We hope you've enjoyed the journey and maybe learned a thing or two along the way. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and never underestimate the power of a seemingly ordinary bird. Until next time. It really is. It's remarkable, isn't it? And then we went down this rabbit hole of the quantum mechanics, this idea that these birds are tapping into these forces that we're only just beginning to understand. It's mind-blowing to think that the pigeons might actually hold the key to unlocking new technologies and revolutionizing fields like bioengineering.
Yeah, who would have thought? I think it really highlights the power of nature and the potential for biomimicry, as we were talking about, drawing inspiration from the natural world to solve human problems. I mean, who knows? Maybe one day we'll have these quantum compasses inspired by the humble pigeon.
Makes you wonder, what other secrets are out there? Just waiting to be discovered. I know the next time I see a pigeon in the park, I'm going to look at it a little differently, with a newfound sense of awe, I think.
That's a great point. I think that's the biggest takeaway from all of this, really. We tend to overlook the extraordinary in the ordinary. And pigeons, I think, are a perfect example of that. They're not just pests. They're these remarkable creatures with incredible abilities, a testament to the power of evolution and the endless wonders of the natural world.
Well said. And on that note, I think we'll wrap up this deep dive into the fascinating world of carrier pigeons. We hope you enjoyed the journey and learned a thing or two along the way. So until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning,
Yeah.
and never underestimate the power of a seemingly ordinary bird.